world. This is Shan Chandrasekar welcoming you to our delightful series, The Achievers. Talk of the Achievers, we have featured the finest of presidents of nations, prime ministers of nations, the biggest of celebrities from around the world, scientists, motion picture artists, and the greatest of industrialists. We are very honored to present an outstanding individual, a world leader, the spiritual leader of the Brahma Kumaris spiritual movement, none other than Sister Shivani ji. Sister Shivani ji, what an honor to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
We have admired you for so many years, watching you and your message for peace around the world. Let's talk about the Brahma Kumaris. So tell us about the spiritual movement behind Brahma Kumaris.
The Brahma Kumaris started in 1936 from Hyderabad, Sindh, which was before partition, now in Pakistan. So started by Dada Lekh Raj, and the Supreme Power used him as the medium to start giving this spiritual knowledge. And he renamed him as Brahma Baba. And so the organization came to be Brahma Kumaris. And the message was about understanding the self, soul consciousness, which finishes off ego, because you understand who I am is not position, name, everything that we've acquired, but the pure divine being who's using the body to acquire everything. So that's the first lesson. Second, to understand the Supreme Power, our parent, another energy, but the source of all the values, purity and power that we're looking for. Third, to understand karma, that we take care of every karma, every thought, word, action we do, because our destiny will be a consequence of our karma. And fourth is to understand the call of time. We understand and believe the world is going through a transformation where a lot of negativity has to now come to an end, and a very beautiful, pure, divine world of unity is going to emerge. And spiritual power will create that transformation.
You have millions of followers around the world. They flock in huge numbers just to listen to you. You're a student of electronics engineering. You have a graduate degree in that. And on top of that, you were actually teaching. I know your parents were involved in the Brahma Kumari movement, but what motivated you personally to pursue this in a more active way?
I think whatever the parents are doing in life automatically influences children. So that's why sometimes when parents come to us and say, but I want my children to learn meditation. So we say it's not the children who have to learn. It's the parents who have to practice it. So whatever parents practice, then it's in the air at home, and children tend to absorb it and then automatically walk the path. So since my parents were with the Brahma Kumaris, it was always at home. But I'm not the kind of person to be able to take it just as it is. It requires a lot of experimentation, analysis, logical thinking behind it. So I was not able to take it just on hearsay, that this is it and do this is not what comes easy to me. So when I saw the transformation in my parents, that was an inspiration to say, okay, there is something in it. But my life was so smooth and perfect, just as a student, and I was doing well in studies. Well, everything was fine.
Oh, you're like a gold medalist.
Yeah, so everything was fine. So you're not really looking for anything, because sometimes you feel you need spirituality only if there's some issue in your life, something. My life was going picture perfect. So I don't think I was looking for it, but because it was around me in the house, I couldn't even keep away from it. So it was there and I was just watching it happen, and I think it just rubbed off on me, and I started experimenting with it. Felt nice, and that's how the journey begins. But of course there was no plan to come like this. I was just a student, and I'm still a student, and we're studying daily. But whenever you achieve something, you experience something which you like, you automatically feel like sharing it with others. And at the Brahma Kumaris, a very strong principle is seva, sharing. So the gyan we understood, the benefit that we experienced, automatically feel like sharing it with others. So we started sharing it through programs, through public events, and then the television program just happened. That was not planned.
It was history after that.
Yeah, that was not planned.
Because you're one of the most powerful television personalities. You've been on major networks all across India and around the world. First of all, Raj Yoga. You know, people have heard in this country all forms of yoga. What is special about Raj Yoga?
Raj Yoga is talking about how to connect to the Supreme Power, energize the self, and emerge the original qualities of the soul. Every quality that we are looking for today, happiness, love, peace, power. Let's take just 4.
Right.
All of us are looking for it outside.
Right.
Happiness in what we buy or what we achieve.
Right.
Peace by going to some silent place or to a religious place. Love from people. Power of name, fame, position.
Right.
So we're looking for everything outside.
Right.
And that's why it's not constant and it's always dependent and it's not real. It finishes off, it's very transient. Because these 4 are the original qualities of the soul. But because we are not experiencing it within, we are looking for it outside. So Raj Yoga is a meditation by which we will emerge our original qualities. So I will go to work and I will achieve not to be happy. I will be happy and go to work. So it's 2 different things. One is I will do this and then be happy, and one is I am happy and I will do this. So happiness is not then to be achieved, but happiness will become my way of living. So in a time where people are believing that stress is natural, anger is natural, hurt is natural, competition is natural, Raj Yoga teaches us happiness is natural, peace is natural, love is natural, cooperation is natural.
Incredible. You just spoke about love. The term unconditional love, you know, between parents and children, between brothers and sisters, between husband and wife, and between friends. Can you just elaborate a bit on that?
How will it be unconditional? And when will it be unconditional? If I'm asking for love, if I'm seeking love, then it cannot be unconditional. Right? Because if I'm asking someone for it, now it depends on the other person when and how much. And when we radiate love to each other, it's when the other person is the way I want them to be. So even in the most beautiful relationship like a parent and a child, where we say, I love you, we will say, I love you 10 times in the day. And it's true, the parent loves a child. But when the child does something which is not according to the parent's definition of right, okay, the parent creates worry, anxiety, fear, hurt, and when we create these emotions, love is blocked. So at that time, the parent is radiating pain and not love. Unconditional love meaning, irrespective of what the child has done, irrespective of what the child is going through, you are stable and you are radiating only a pure and positive emotion of love. Your love is not getting replaced by pain. You care for the child, it's love. You worry for the child, it's pain.
Oh, wow.
So if a parent is disturbed, then they're radiating disturbance. So love and pain cannot go together. So even if it's for 5 minutes that I'm experiencing anxiety, those 5 minutes I'm not radiating love. So that's why it's not unconditional, it's conditional. So for those 5 minutes I'm not radiating love. So unconditional means where my state of mind is not dependent on situations. It's not dependent on their behavior. I'm constantly stable. So I'm constantly radiating love. Unconditional love, no conditions, unconditional love, and that will come from unconditional acceptance. Accepting them as they are.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
It was amazing yesterday in front of a huge live audience. You were so delightful, you were so calm, and you were asked a simple question. Common phenomena that happens in families. Somebody goes and visits another family and they cook a 10-course meal for them. And they're very happy, they say thank you and everything else, they come home. 2 weeks later, the same family comes back to visit them. It's an incredibly simple illustration, but an extremely common illustration that would happen in most families.
Let's say, for example, I come to your place for dinner tonight. So she loves cooking. Hospitality is her sanskar. So she's going to create a wonderful feast for me. And I enjoy the meal. Few days later, she comes to my place. आप तो पहले ही हंस दिए, कमाल है। पहले कैसे हंस दिए? And she sees nothing on the dining table. And I ask her, I said, I'm sure you must have had your tea. It's already 6 o'clock. Will you get a little hurt if that happens? Yes? Yes? Getting hurt is natural.
What is the solution for that?
This example was taken only to keep it very, very simple.
Right.
But once we understand it at the simple example, we have to apply it to the deepest issues of our life.
Right.
I personally believe the equation needs to be clear in life. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like maths.
So it's expectation, basically.
Yeah, so you know, just learn the equation.
Right.
Once we know the equation, we can apply it to any issue of life.
Right, right.
So, like, you know, when we solve maths problem, the equation had to be written on the first line.
Right.
After that, it could be pages of reaching the solution.
Right.
But if the first line equation is wrong,
oh, I see.
then my whole life will get wasted, no? Pages and pages and pages, and I will not reach the solution because the first line equation is not right. Now the first line equation today is expectation is normal. Expectation is natural.
Right.
So that's my equation.
Right.
And if I say expectation is natural, means I expect people to be the way I want them to be.
Brilliant.
Those people could be my spouse, my children, my colleagues. I want them to be the way I want them to be.
Right.
I want them to be right according to my definition of right. Now my definition will be created based on my sanskars, my programming.
Right. What is a sanskar?
Sanskar actually doesn't have an English word, but sanskar means a repetitive way of thinking, which becomes a habit.
I see.
But not an outside habit, not a habit of eating, drinking, sleeping, but a habit of way of thinking.
Okay.
So anything done repeatedly, thinking, behaving, becomes your habit, which is called sanskar. So in Hindi it is said, ये बहुत अच्छे संस्कारों वाली आत्मा है, meaning this soul is carrying very beautiful sanskars. Sanskars we carry from our past births. Sanskars we get from parents. There are some sanskars which you carry which you must have got from your parents. And which people will say, oh, you're just like your father. Not in terms of how you look, but who you are. So that is sanskars you got from...
heritage, you inherit some of those.
Inherit. Some sanskars you have carried from past birth. Because when we understand spiritually, soul. So soul energy in this body, I create sanskars. Time to leave. Leave this body, take the next. Baby born, carrying sanskars of the past. That's why same parent, 2 children, different sanskars. Twins, looks identical, different sanskars, because past is different.
Brilliant.
Those of you who have 2 children or more, you will see how different your children are. Even though they are to the same parents, in the same family, in the same environment, same school, same friends, everything, and yet 2 children are so different.
You mentioned, in fact, in the same family, if you have 3 children, they are distinctly different from each other.
Yeah, because they are identical only in their present. Past was different. So we get sanskars from past, sanskars from parents, sanskars from environment, my friends, my school, my country, where. Fourth, sanskars created due to my own willpower. I may have carried a sanskar in the past, but I can change it today. Willpower. And fifth, most beautiful, the original sanskars of every soul. Purity, peace, love, happiness, knowledge. Original sanskar of every soul. That's like the original color. And these are all the acquired. Now, expectation means I expect you to have the same sanskar as me. Or I want you to have the sanskar which I feel is right. How will it be? You've been on a completely different journey. I have been on a completely different journey. So to expect is unnatural. It's absolutely abnormal to expect from people that they should be our way. But if my equation is expectation is natural, then I want you to be my way. If you are not, I get hurt. Then I get disappointed. I blame you for my pain, and then that's going to move us away.
Wedge.
Yes. And spirituality says, soul on a journey, different sanskars, accept them as they are. Accept doesn't mean everybody do whatever they want. Acceptance means your sanskar doesn't disturb me. Doesn't disturb me. I'm stable. I'm working with you. I'm living with family. But everyone's sanskars doesn't disturb me. So my love radiates irrespective of their sanskar. My respect radiates irrespective of their sanskar. That is unconditional love and unconditional acceptance. So the equation changes first. Acceptance is normal. Now solve all issues of life.
Brilliant. When you mentioned about equation and mathematics, needless to say, you've got a strong background in science and technology and engineering. You've applied that in meditation. So tell me about the correlation between pure science and abstract science and meditation.
The most important thing is science says experiment and then believe. So no believing it without experimenting.
Brilliant.
And once you experiment it, then it's not a belief, then it's your truth.
Oh, wow.
A lot of us are living our life based on beliefs, not necessary truth.
Oh, I see.
Belief heard from society, received from parents. Let's take a simple belief. Competition is natural. From where did we get this belief? But it seems to be the belief system of almost all of us today. And so life has changed only because competition is natural. So we are in a race against each other. We are working in the same office, but the person sitting in the cabin next to me is my rival because they are competitors.
Oh, wow, I see.
And then I carry the sanskar of competition home, and there is a competition between husband and wife. The son joins the business, there is a competition between father and son. And even when we go into the area of social work, seva, there's competition there. And which means we are in a race 24/7. Anybody who believes competition is natural, happiness cannot be constant.
My God, I see.
It's not possible. It's not possible. And what is actually natural? Sharing, caring, cooperation. This is natural sanskar of every soul. But we have stopped sharing, caring and cooperating because you are my rival. I don't want you to go ahead. And if I see you getting blocked on the way, it gives me happiness. You're not doing well. Gives me a chance to move ahead. Completely wrong belief system.
Incredible.
People are actually happy when other people are not doing well.
Oh my God.
Because they are rivals, no? How can we happy? How can we be happy seeing somebody else in pain?
Incredible. In the business world, they say one has to be ambitious, but one should not be greedy. And there is a thin line between being ambitious and being greedy. Is this a phenomenon that automatically human beings develop? Can you just elaborate a bit on that? And how do we deal with that?
Be ambitious, but be contented. And be contented and now achieve your ambition. Because if you're ambitious and not contented, you will go on achieving and reach, but you will never be happy. And then there's, I meet so many people who've achieved, name it, and they've achieved it. But when you meet them one-on-one, and they will say, but there's something inside, I'm not, there's certain kind of a vacuum. That sense of fulfillment, happiness, because achievement for them was only something outside. Name, position, fame, acquired, not a thought which had to be created inside. Because they base their happiness on, I will be happy when I reach here. Let's take a simple example. I want to reach there. Okay? So that's my goal.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Ambition. I've set my goal. I have to reach there.
Yeah.
But the little programming that I changed was, I will be happy when I reach there. So now I start moving. Throughout the journey, I create fear, anxiety, stress, anger, everything. Because I think happiness is after I reach there. And then I reach there.
Yeah.
So momentarily it feels nice.
Yeah.
But then my mind says, now I have to reach there.
Oh, I see. The next
And I will be
destination.
happy there. And then I will be happy there. And then I don't know when I'll be happy.
My congratulations to you for receiving Achiever of the Decade for your work that you have done and by a major organization just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Our hearty congratulations.
Thank you.
In your case, awards are just only symbolic because frankly, you're being awarded every day by giving peace and prosperity to millions of human beings around the world.
The biggest award is when you meet someone and they share the magic that they have created in their life. There's nothing more beautiful than that. To meet someone who is going through some issue in life, it could be a troubled relationship, it could be a depression, it could be sometimes somebody contemplating suicide.
Right.
And they will say, oh, we watched the program. They've not probably even come to the center yet. They don't know meditation, but they watched the program regularly, made their notes, work. You know, it's a lot of hard work that people are doing. And they change their destiny completely. And every time I meet somebody like this, I get inspiration that look at each one of us, how much power we have. How much power we have that take the gyan and we can completely change our destiny. So that's the biggest award.
Tell me about the global accomplishments and aspirations of your organization.
Now in 144 countries.
Wow.
So started from Hyderabad, Sindh, then in 1952 shifted to Mount Abu, which is the international headquarters.
Right.
From there in the 1970s, first international center, London, and from there to 144 countries today.
Brilliant.
And starts in a very small way in every place and then just reaches out to everybody with the intention that irrespective of whichever religion, caste, creed you belong to, you retain your religion, caste and creed, but you understand basic spiritual principles,
Sure.
which helps you to understand your religion even more deeply.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, because religion gives us very, very deep gyan, but sometimes, you know, if we don't understand it right, we will not be able to implement it the right way. So spirituality and meditation makes it easy for us to understand what religion was teaching us. So today we have brothers and sisters belonging to every major religion, caste, creed of the world, but united.
Yeah, wonderful.
A very beautiful global family.
Right.
And collectively working together and firmly believe that when we change, the world changes. And we firmly believe that a very, very beautiful world, which we call Satyug in Hindi, the golden age paradise, is almost here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's definite. It's here.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
What can people do when there is, unfortunately, religious rifts between different communities, problems around the world? What is the solution using your method and your philosophy?
Many of us may not have the power to create a change in the world, you know, directly influence groups or influence politicians. We can't do all that. But we firmly believe that each one of us needs to take care of the self.
So it starts with the self.
Yeah, because there's a logic to it.
Okay.
What is the collective consciousness of the world? It's basically sum total of the consciousness of every human being. Right? Suppose we are in this room and we are 10 people in this room.
Right.
So what's the energy field of this room? It's total of 10 minds.
Right, right.
So your mind, my mind, is influencing the energy field of this room.
Right.
So you are contributing to the energy of this room and you are also getting influenced by the energy of this room.
Right.
Right. Now, suppose you are creating anger, anxiety, terror inside in your mind. Not in the world.
Yeah.
Only in your life.
Yeah.
You are contributing towards terror in the world.
Oh, wow.
Because you are radiating that ripple of terror in the world.
Yeah.
You are radiating, somebody else is radiating. So 8 out of 10 people in this room are radiating anger and thereby terror vibration in the world. Now I am the 10th person. I'm emotionally very weak. And I get influenced very easily by energy.
So you're susceptible.
So now this influences me to such an extent that I create terror in a very big way.
My God.
Now, what can all these 8 people do to me? Directly, they cannot change me. I have become someone who's creating terror in the world. You cannot change me directly. But what you can change is all 8 of you finish terror in your life and create peace in your life. When 8 of you create peace in your minds, you're creating an energy field of peace.
Wow.
And I will get influenced by that energy field of peace, and then I will change.
Incredible.
So each one of us is actually responsible for the condition of the world. And each one of us has the power to change the condition of the world.
Incredible. You've been an outstanding motivational teacher and speaker. The biggest of corporations in India have had workshops conducted by you. Now, these big corporate conglomerates, when they do that, what kind of a stress are they facing that you address?
Actually, it's a personal stress only. Stress is all about not being able to create the right thoughts in situations of crisis. And a crisis is not something big. It could be just stuck in traffic early morning to work. Situations are not big, but because we do not create the right thought in every situation, we are depleting energy. So most of us would deplete energy even before we reach office. And then the way of working with each other. Again, lack of acceptance, using anger as a weapon. Every time we are using anger as a tool to get work done, we are depleting energy. Not only our energy, the energy of the people working for us, because they are creating fear. Then we create an atmosphere of competition within the organization, we are depleting energy. And with all this, now we want to create miracles, which we have created, but we don't have happy people. But then we have disease, we have divorce, we have depression. This year, WHO has declared this year as Depression Let's Talk.
My God.
And it's saying 1 in 4 is heading towards depression. So, can we really call ourselves successful? How can we call ourselves successful with depression rate going high, cancer rate going high, divorce rate going high? Is success only going to be decided by our financial statements?
Very interesting.
You know, and that's something which society needs to check. What is definition of success? Can it be only based on what we have achieved and not based on who I am and how are my relationships and how is my health, mental, emotional, physical? So success for a corporate house needs to be redefined. And when, as a society, we change the definition of success, people will start living their lives differently. When we change society saying that value system works, cooperation works, a lot of things going to happen. So corporate houses really need to take care of themselves, work on themselves, so that every evening they send happy people home.
You are extraordinarily eloquent. The non-resident Indian community in this part of the world has got certain unique problems and issues. They may have already discussed it with you, but perhaps since you're here in our studio in Canada, I would certainly like to discuss. This could be a common phenomenon for most of the countries, at least a few thousand miles away from India. Middle East, it may not happen, but here. A lot of people have emigrated here in the early 60s and 70s, and their children are born in this country. Now, they are expecting certain values from them, not even realizing that India itself is changing. Is that a phenomena that you have seen in other parts of the world? Because you've traveled all over the world. What is the prognosis for that, and how do we handle that?
It doesn't matter which country we're living in. It really doesn't matter. Like you said, if somebody wants to leave those values, they can do it living in India. And if they want to hold on to their values, you can do it whichever part of the world you are in. It's a very personal thing. Values is, of course, we get a lot of values conditioning where we are, but at the end of the day, it's a very personal thing. So if I choose that I want to live by these values, then I can be in any part of the world and live by those values. It just not, we have no right to blame anyone for leaving our own compass of values. We left the compass. We have to take it back again because that compass was guiding our life in the right direction. But if I allow myself to get influenced by things around me, then it's I who am responsible for that. So let's take up whatever we feel is right for us, and it doesn't matter where we are, and we can live by those values. And like you said, media, information is the source of thoughts. Here, we are what we watch, read, and listen. Like the food we eat creates health of the body, what we watch, read, and listen creates health of the soul, health of the mind. Media in the last 20 years, like you know, so many channels. So much of, in the name of entertainment, in the name of news, in the name of comedy, we are listening and watching a lot of things which are not giving us right quality of information, pure, it's not. And if I consume too much of that information, my thoughts will drift towards that direction. Then came social media. Again, information. Right. So today the world is saying the disease of this time is overthinking. But overthinking is the disease because over information. When you and me were in school, less information, less thoughts. So we cannot stop information. Choose carefully what information you're taking. Choose carefully what to take from media, what to take from social media. That's why when we saw the impact of this program that we do, Awakening, when we started it off, it was just, nothing was planned. But I've seen the impact of a 25-minute media every day. 25-minute positive media, and people are saying, I've healed depression, I was on verge of divorce. But it's media, just sitting at home across the TV screen. There's a brother in India who's done his PhD recently, and his topic is impact of spiritual TV programs on society.
Wonderful.
Full PhD, behavioral change, health change, financial issues, mental health, and amazing results.
You've been to all countries all over the world, and you've appeared on so many television networks everywhere. This is the first time you're coming to our facility, ATN, in Canada. Where, as Mahatma Gandhi said many years ago, you open the windows and allow the breeze of all the cultures to blow on you, but don't be blown off your feet. So, and that's the kind of philosophy that we have had.
It's very beautiful to be here and to create that synergy. You know, you've got everyone together on one platform. So it's like, you know, like sometimes when we have a meal where we have Gujarati food and Punjabi food and Rajasthani food and everything put together, and healthy food and a variety which offers so much to people that they can choose what suits each one of them, different members of the family. So to be able to create that is nothing short of a miracle. So I think you're creating a miracle sitting here and reaching out to millions of people, and I'm sure that the purity of intention and the determination and sincerity with which you are doing, it's going to reach all over the world, definite.
With those kind words, we're extremely honored by your presence here in our place in Canada, in our studio. Again, God bless you, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, brother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.